That's much, right? Yeah, that's probably too much. Hello everybody, welcome to the first official video on the Lone Colony. As you guys saw, we had to convert from the wolf pack to the Lone Colony, mainly because, well, the wolf pack is such a common name that we had to change, so we went with the Lone Colony. And here we are. First trailer for Godzilla. So I don't want to stretch this video out too long, but basically we're gonna have both analysis and the reaction. So if you want to see the reaction, skip here, because now I'm just going to be talking about what we might be expecting in this trailer. And if you want to see the analysis, this timestamp right here or wherever I'm gonna put it. So first trailer for Godzilla. I keep hearing people saying that we're going to be expecting King Ghidorah to show up. Personally, I don't think that's going to be the case. I think the most prevalent monsters we're going to see, for sure we're going to see good old Godzilla, since we've already been established him back in 2014. We've seen the whole film. We know what he looks like. We know his motivations. And the other two monsters that we're most likely going to see is probably Mothra and Rodan, mainly because they're second tier, and they're also pretty common within the Godzilla films. But King Ghidorah, he is the main baddie. He's practically the Joker to Godzilla's Batman, or the Lex Luthor to Superman. Basically his arch rival, the big bad boss monster. Another thing that I'm thinking is that in this trailer we're probably the most we're probably going to see of Ghidorah is just small glimpses. We're probably going to have an idea that he's there, but we're probably not going to see much of him. Maybe a flash of gold scales, maybe even some yellow streams of gravity beams being shot at him off screen probably. But yeah, most likely monsters we're going to see is Rodan, Mothra, and the monster we're definitely going to see in full has to be Godzilla. I've also heard apparently there was this leaked description of the trailer online, and from what I'm seeing right now it seems to be less and less of the case, mainly because the description says that the trailer is short, around 90 seconds. That's roughly 1 minute 30 seconds. But the trailer that's in front of me is about 2 minutes 25 seconds. So already that's another inconsistency. I did see a little bit of descriptions of this trailer though, mainly about Millie Bobby Brown talking, and we've already seen that little teaser with her in the control room trying to reach monarchs. God, it's funny, I planned this in my head. I was rehearsing it in the shower earlier. I've been rehearsing it for the whole week, and here I am falling on myself in the presence of this trailer. Oh my god. I had to do another take because I was so out of place. More out of place than I am right now. My throat is getting dry. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Alright, so ready, got good old Godzilla, got me root beer for the dry throat. Oh yeah. Alright, let's do this. Gonna turn up the volume all the way. Okay. Go.
Our world is changing. The mass extinction we feared has already begun, and we are the cause. We are the infection. But like all living organisms, the Earth unleashed a fever to fight this infection. Its original and rightful rulers, the Titans. For thousands of years,
Godzilla.
These creatures have remained in hiding around the world. And unless all the Titans are found, our planet will perish, and so will we. They they are the only guarantee that life will carry on.
Long live the king.
So after consulting myself for hours, I have finally stopped screaming every time I see something related to Godzilla today. Hooray! Mostly. So before we get into it, I would like to state I have not seen any other theory video covering the subject of the trailer. Everything that you're about to hear from me is through my own observations. So with that said, let's get into the fray. Let's start with the piece of dialogue that starts this trailer off. At the forefront is Verma Farmiga's character, Dr. Emma Russell, who's talking about how humankind is like a plague that's slowly destroying the planet and how we need the monsters to save the day. While it does sound like she's being a villain, I think it's the opposite. I think Dr. Russell is referring to how humankind always puts the Earth in danger, and it's probably our fault for the awakening of the one creature that can end all life on the planet, that monster being King Ghidorah. This would further the message from the first film how Godzilla and the other Earthborn kaijus are protectors, and ultimately the kaijus we end up waking up are hell-bent on destroying the world. One of the better examples of this would be the Mutos, who, if they proliferated, would have conquered the whole world with their own population. So Godzilla, Mothra, and Rodan aren't necessarily monsters, but are treated more like deities, just how Dr. Zarasawa theorized a power to restore balance. Another interesting detail I want to touch base on is the idea of kaiju's very presence or awakenings are a call of natural disasters. As hard as it may sound, it's actually an element that was used in the 2014 film, with the awakening of the male and female Mutas causing damage similar to that of an earthquake, and Godzilla's own arrival causes tsunami. This theme continues here with Rodan's awakening causing a volcanic eruption, along with him flying by suburbia causing hurricane force winds and destroying the whole place. But I guess the more prevalent kaiju that causes natural disasters has to be Ghidorah. Ghidorah's arrival causing some severe storms around him. How severe? Damn. This is further backed up by the Monarch's viral site, which states these abilities in the creature's profiles. These next few clips is what I can only assume is the Temple of the Moth. So what is the Temple of the Moth? Well, of course, it's home of Mothra. It's really interesting given the shots we have. One shot, which I again assume is the Temple of the Moth, shows some hieroglyphics, including one that shows Godzilla. But the one shot I really want to talk about is this one, where we see the temple exploding. I don't know about you guys, but I have a guess maybe this explosion is caused by the hatching of Mothra, since it is already confirmed that Mothra has bioluminescence in her body so strong that it can cause blinding light. We will definitely see her going through her life stages from larval form to her final moth form, and looking at Mothra's design, or little of it, looks like that the director and the creature designers took a lot of notes from the 2001 design, as this one looks a little more insectoid and less fuzzy, like compared to the earlier Carnation designs, mainly the Heisei and Showa. Now, let's get into the one monster that plagued theory videos back in 2014 in anticipation for Godzilla. That monster being Rodan. While we don't see much of him, we do see enough to guess a lot about him. We know that this incarnation holds a lot of similar traits and abilities as the original Showa Rodan and the Millennium Rodan. There is no indication if this incarnation of Rodan will have a uranium ray like he did in the Heisei era, but he looks to favor just as well without it. Now let's get to the main baddie himself, King Ghidorah. There's actually a good amount of footage with him, and I am fairly surprised and pleased by how much we saw of him. There's no real indication where this Ghidorah comes from. We don't really get any piece of dialogue or shots that explain any possible origin that this incarnation of Ghidorah has. A lot of people, along with myself, speculate the Astro Monster in the film will have the same origin as he did back in the 1964 film Ghidorah, the three-headed monster. As predicted, we do see his gravity beams for a brief moment, but what we should be talking about is this. This storm was generated by Ghidorah. If we refer to the Monarch website again, it mentions how Ghidorah can produce powerful storms. Explains the nasty weather that this trailer always seems to showcase. In between the storm clouds and the light glimpses we do see, this Ghidorah could possibly be the strongest incarnation we've seen since the Heisei Ghidorah, unless the anime trilogy has something up their sleeve for their Ghidorah earlier that year. This next part, I can't help but notice these ships. This gets me a wee bit excited about what to expect for this alternate timeline this film portrays. Makes me wonder of other possible technologies that might exist in this world and possibly further expand it. Who knows, maybe we'll have some maser tanks or other weapons that were showcased in the Godzilla series. Now, it's without forgetting to mention that Godzilla in this film looks a little different from his initial appearance in 2014. With most of his iconic design staying relatively the same, the more notable differences begin to adorn his new spine, which Mike already teased us with a tweet stating how Godzilla's evolution in the flesh. This left me a little scared, mainly because the Godzilla 2014 design is solid as it is, but seeing most of his design intact leaves a wide smile on my face. It's almost like seeing an old friend I haven't seen for years. Now to the main topic, the spines. I hope in this film they explain why his spines are so different, mainly because back in the 2014 film, during the intro sequence we do see his spines, and they haven't really changed up until 2014. So what could happen in the time span of 5 years that 60 years didn't do to change his spines? Hopefully the film will answer that question. Personally, I think he just consumed a lot more radiation than normal, and that's how his spines grew to such impressive size and shape. But there's one thing I want to talk about. There, that one major spine. Notice anything about it? It is the exact same main spine from the 1954 film. And yeah, that's everything that I have to touch base on. I'm sorry that I wasn't as deep into this video as I was hoping to be. I was hoping to answer more questions, but honestly there wasn't really all that much that stood out to me, other than the Temple of the Moth illustrations that show Godzilla, how Godzilla's one spine is basically the 1954 spine, and the 3 new monsters that will be appearing in the Monsterverse. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a comment if you guys saw anything in the trailer that I may have forgotten to mention, because I'm pretty sure I have. Now, without further ado, this is Leopard Picker Master from Repodreptiles, talking to you all from the Lone Colony, signing out.
Long live the king.